2018 Citroën C3 Aircross SUV Review. The good points of Citroën C3 Aircross SUV. Bold styling. Good practicality. Capable engines. Lots of kit. Decent to push. The bad points of Citroën C3 Aircross SUV. Could ride better. No height adjustment on passenger seat. Panoramic sunroof spoils headroom. Slack-feeling manual gearbox. Will Pierre 82 engine be sufficiently strong enough for an SUV? The Citroën C3 Aircross would be the French manufacturer's first foray in the compact SUV market, slotting involving the regular C3 hatchback and upcoming C5 Aircross. Designed to major on practicality, style and technology, the C3 Aircross will go up against some well-established competition such as the Renault Captur, Vauxhall Mach-E and big-selling Nissan Juke. Big car with big tech. Citroën has followed the popularity by loading its new SUV with technology and equipment made to improve the driving experience whilst keeping the car's occupants safe. That means standard equipment levels are impressive all-round, with all the top-spec Flare model coming with Citroën Connect emergency assistance, sat-nav, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, as well as a panoramic sunroof. There's an in-depth range of safety kit offered, too, that has a head-up display, traffic sign recognition, autonomous emergency braking and lane departure warning, all available. Flexible safekeeping. The Citroën C3 Aircross achieves class-leading practicality on account of a capacious boot effective at swallowing approximately 1,289 liters using the rear seats folded down. Even with them constantly in place, there's an extraordinary 410 liters of storage, rising to 520 liters with all the rear seat bench slid forwards. What's more, rear seat passengers get lots of legroom, and headroom aforementioned is noticeably reduced together with the panoramic sunroof fitted, plus there's also a possibility for a folding front passenger seat for loading long items. Plenty of personalization. As ever, personalization plays a huge part with this Citroën. The roof, exterior detailing and the body color can all be customized using the French brand, claiming how the C3 Aircross offers up over 85 color combinations. There's fashionable selection of interior color packs to be seen things up inside. Simple array of petrol and diesel engines. There's no hybrid or pure electric powertrains available here, the C3 Aircross instead counting on a choice of conventional petrol and diesels. The most popular of them will be the 110 horsepower 1.2-liter pure petrol, available, that has a 6-speed manual or 6-speed E6 automatic gearbox. If you're with some more power, though, the 120 horsepower 1.6-liter Blue diesel or 130 horsepower 1.2-liter pure petrol is adequate, while using latter for example being an excellent engine. Tidy handling and reasonable comfort. Despite being taller and heavier than the normal C3, the C3 Aircross feels better resolved from the road and handles with poise and stability. It's not even close to being a performance car, but gives a confidence-inspiring drive nonetheless. Ride comfort is reasonable, but is vulnerable to sharp bumps or cracks in the trail. Specing the optional grip control using the off-road tires appears to be help ride comfort. The verdict. Citroën adjusted headfirst into your SUV market that has a boldly styled new model. It's not merely the styling that impresses, however. With extensive kit levels, class-leading practicality and tidy driving manners. It's not the runaway class leader, nevertheless should be a life-threatening contender when you're inside market for just a new compact SUV. Watch the complete Citroën C3 Aircross SUV review whether it's good enough to see a top from the class. Good range of engines. Punchy diesels and characterful petrols. Decent automatic gearbox option. The lineup of Citroën C3 Aircross engines is well judged. Customers have a collection of 4 petrol and 3 diesel engines. Petrol engines. Despite developing 3 different power outputs, the 3 C3 Aircross petrol engines depend on the same 3-cylinder 1.2-liter Puritic unit. The least powerful version is non-turbocharged and develops 82 horsepower and 118 Nm of torque, enough to get a 062 mph use of 15.9 seconds and also a top speed of 103 mph. Move up from this into your turbocharged Puritic 110 and, since the name suggests, you will get 110 horsepower, 205 Nm of torque along with an 11.3 second 062 mph time, 11.8 for the automatic. Top speed is 115 mph whilst the automatic tops out at 114 mph. This engine provides enough going and around town as well as on country roads, although frequent motorway drivers might choose to consider the punchier 130 horsepower version. Like all with the C3 Aircross's 1.2-liter petrol engines, the 110 horsepower derivative is quiet and refined when cruising and possesses a characterful, if sometimes noisy, rumble when accelerating. The most effective petrol engine on offer would be the Puritic 130, packing 230 Nm of torque and also a 10.4 second 062 mph time. Top speed is rated at 124 mph, diesel engines. The 1.6-liter Bluetooth turbocharged diesel engine would be the sole diesel offering inside C3 Aircross and will come in 2 different power outputs, 100 and 120 horsepower. Opt to the former and you obtain 100 horsepower, 254 Nm of torque as well as a 062 mph period of 12.8 seconds, with top speed rated at 109 mph. For the ones that fancy a bit more performance, the 120 horsepower version offers up 300 Nm of torque and 062 mph in 10.7 seconds. Top speed is 114 mph. The top-of-the-range diesel may be the one to get in case you spend a lot of time on motorways and offers an abundance of torque and low down pulling power. Third gear provides an abundance of flexibility and negates the desire to work the manual gearbox hard. Gearbox options. The C3 Aircross is available having a 5-speed manual standard within the 82 horsepower 1.2, 110 horsepower 1.2 and 100 horsepower 1.6, a 6-speed manual standard within the 130 horsepower 1.2 and 120 horsepower 1.6 along with a 6-speed automatic optional within the 110 horsepower 1.2. Opt to the former and also the gearbox feels simple to operate, however the throw is long and slack, meaning it's not particularly pleasant to make use of. The automatic version offers relatively smooth gear shifts and rarely leaves you inside wrong ratio. Engage the manual override mode plus the auto is impressively tuned into changes, allowing the driver a lot of control if your need arise. Tidy on-road handling. Plenty of grip available. Surprisingly efficient at road. In the principle, the C3 Aircross handling is tidy and composed. It offers up reassuring numbers of outright grip and agility when needed, feeling noticeably better resolved than its C3 sister car. Excitement levels are understandably low, but it's a satisfying drive nonetheless. Tip the C3 Aircross in a bend and, While there's a good degree of body roll, it never feels uncontrolled or unstable. The direct and well-weighted steering means it's all too easy to point the nose from the car the place you want it, with all the nose washing wide predictably when you're carrying an excessive amount speed in. The turning circle is tight, plus due to a host of available parking aids, including sensors, rear-view camera and bird's-eye-view cameras, it's not especially tricky to park either. The Venetian blind design about the rear three-quarter window seems like it could impair visibility on the surface, but doesn't get within the way a lot of one's inside driver's seat. Sadly, the steering offers no real feel regardless of whether at the limit of grip or going off-road, these being something which the C3 Aircross is surprisingly great at. C3 Aircross has off-roading tech. Available for an optional extra about the C3 Aircross is grip control and hill descent assist technology. The former enables the driving force to select different optimized driving modes determined by what surface they're on, with road, mud, sand and snow settings all included. The car's traction and stability software are able to adapt to the kind of conditions and supply greater control of low grip surfaces. Hill Descent Assist is meant to allow the C3 Aircross to descend down steep inclines with minimal input from the motive force. Comfortable standard driving position. Plenty of adjustment in seat and pedals. Lack of physical aircon controls an authentic hindrance. The Citroën C3 Aircross is usually a nice spot to be with many neat design touches dotted across the interior. What's more, the French brand's tendency make use of more premium-feeling materials about the areas the trucker uses most is refreshing, and adds some quality on the interior. Other parts you're unlikely to see or touch use cheaper, more plasticky materials. Drivers of shapes and sizes shouldn't get trouble getting comfortable behind the wheel that has a good variety of adjustment provided. The amount of flexibility within the steering wheel reach is specially pleasing, as will be the handy, but cheap-feeling, adjustable armrest. Note that it may be awkward operating the handbrake lever with said armrest set to specific positions. The biggest disappointment from behind the wheel may be the lack of physical air conditioning controls on filtering cars upwards required to form the greater part of sails. Drivers or passengers must instead adjust aircon and heater settings with all the fiddly 7.0-inch central touchscreen. Bringing in the correct menu hoping to operate your little front on-screen buttons is definitely an unnecessary distraction when driving along, compounded by the often unresponsive touchscreen. It's safest to inquire about your passenger to regulate the settings or delay until you're stationary in a set of red lights. Decent overall ride despite struggling over some surfaces. Acceptable amounts of wind and road noise. Large and comfortable seats are ideal for long journeys. The C3 Aircross is usually a comfortable car, yet its ride quality just isn't as polished as it may be. When driven over decent road surfaces its ride feels well judged, if you're touch firmer than you may expect. However, the suspension often ceases to comprehensively iron out sharp bumps or cracks in the path which, ultimately, takes the sting off an otherwise perfectly comfortable ride quality. Interestingly, the ride improves in the event the car is suited with Citroën's optional grip control as well as the accompanying off-road tires. However, as the driver's seat provides adequate adjustment levels, those involved with passenger seat could be disappointed to find an absence of height adjustment for the base. Because of this, those over around 510 inches may find themselves sat exceptionally high up within the car and, on models using the panoramic sunroof fitted, will discover their head brushing the ceiling. Road and wind noise levels are acceptable. However, the two petrol and diesel engines especially aforementioned can sound raucous when revved hard. Plenty of normal kit, even on base trim. cruise control, DAB radio and Bluetooth all standard. Plenty of customization available options. Standard Citroën C3 Aircross SUV equipment. Starting with all the basic touch specification, standard equipment includes 16-inch steel wheels, gloss black roof bars, DAB radio with 4 speakers, USB and Bluetooth phone connectivity, lane departure warning, traffic sign recognition, coffee break alert, cruise control with speed limiter, manual aircon, front electric windows and automatic lights. Upgrade on the medium-spec feel trim and, together with what's offered with touch models, you will get 16-inch matrix alloy wheels, leather leader, LED daytime running lights, fog lights, space-saver spare wheel, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay compatibility, 7.0-inch color touchscreen, electrically adjustable and heated door mirrors, additional 12-volt socket from the rear, dark-tinted rear windows. Top-on-the-range flare trim contributes to feel spec with increased kit, including 17-inch diamond-cut forever alloy wheels, bitone roof, style pack in a collection of 4 colors, Citroën Connect emergency and assistance system, SATNAV, dual-zone climate control, automatic windscreen wipers, front and back electric windows, rear parking sensors, keyless entry and keyless ignition, sliding 60/40 split folding rear bench seat. Citroën C3 Aircross SUV, optional extras. Customization plays a huge part in the C3 Aircross's optional extras list, which has a number of different style packs and colored roof available options on higher spec models. Citroën claims that we now have 85 different color combinations being offered. Other optional extras include grip control with hill descent assist C-handling section, wireless smartphone charging, park assist pack, bird's eye view parking display, automatic parking and blind spot monitoring, techno pack, color head-up display, wireless smartphone charging and hi-fi system, family pack, flat folding rear passenger seat and rear sun blinds, safety pack, including various items, for instance autonomous emergency braking, driver attention alert and autonomous high beam function. 5-star Euro NCAP safety rating. 2 ISOFIX points as standard. Strong variety of available safety kit. Despite the auto on which the C3 Aircross is founded on, a normal Citroën C3, only achieving a 4-star Euro NCAP safety rating, the compact SUV gained the total 5-1 tested for the end of 2017 due to the optional addition of autonomous emergency braking. Other clever safety kit incorporates a head-up display, speed sign recognition, automatic high-beam headlights, park assist, bird's-eye view parking display, lane departure warning and blind spot monitoring. How many ISOFIX car seats can I easily fit in a Citroën C3 Aircross? Fitting 2 ISOFIX car seats within the C3 Aircross ought to be a piece of cake due to easy-to-access mountings. Helpfully, there should nevertheless be enough room for just a third child inside the middle seat, too. Class-leading boot space to be had. Panoramic sunroof restricts back and front headroom. Lots of space for storing and cubby holes. Providing you don't opt for that top spec and many sought-after flare trim car, rear passenger headroom is ample. With the sunroof, however, it's severely restricted and taller adults or kids will quickly realize their head brushing against on resting within the roof. Rear legroom, meanwhile, is very useful. Plus there's an abundance of cubby holes dotted throughout the cabin for several bric-a-brac being stored. Again, front passenger headroom is restricted because of the panoramic sunroof and exceptionally high seating position, so bear this in mind should you frequently carry tall passengers around. It may be classed just as one SUV, even so the C3 Aircross doesn't produce an especially big footprint, so parking shouldn't become a major issue. There's numerous parking aids offered nonetheless, including a clever bird's-eye view display in the vehicle and its surroundings to aid with extra tight spaces. The Citroën C3 Aircross continues to be designed with practicality under consideration, and also this shows while using level of boot space to be ahead compared to its rivals. In standard configuration, the boot holds a remarkable 410 liters of luggage. However, the back seat row may also be slid forward as a weight to gain another 90 liters. What's more, there's a double height boot floor either to increase outright space or make a flat loading bay, plus there's also selecting a folding passenger seat for storing extra long items.